This is a really nice question because it's not actually asking you anything that you don't know, but they've kind of hidden the information there. So as soon as you see what you have to do, you can absolutely fly through this question. So we have been asked to find the values of A and B, and they just gave us this graph, and that was it. So we need to really understand what information they've given us in that graph. And the key here is that they've given us 2 points. So how am I going to use them 2 points to help me figure out what A and B are? Well, remember that a point is giving you so let's say -2 and 6. Okay, what that is giving you is an x coordinate and a matching y coordinate. Okay, and remember y we can call f of x. Okay, so for this x input, I'm going to have an f of x output of this. So that's really nice. If I just start by filling that stuff in, that is going to get me at least somewhere so that I can start understanding what can I actually show here. Okay, so I can write this with the x's changed to -2's and the y or the f of x changed to the matching f of x here, so 6. Okay, so I can do that. So I can write this as 6 is equal to a times -2. Oh, green. So -2 being squared plus b times -2 plus 4. Okay, so I can go through that and simplify that. But at the end of the day, I can see that I'm still going to end up with an equation with 2 variables in it. Okay, but let's just do it so that we can kind of see where we're going with this. Okay, so if I want to try and go through this and simplify it, well, there's no point in me having numbers on both sides. So I'm going to -4 from both sides. And I will get that 2 is equal to 4a minus 2b. Okay? I can actually make that even simpler for myself if I want to, because everything here can divide across by 2. So if I was to do that, then I would see that 1 is equal to 2a minus b. Okay, so I have an equation, but I can't figure out what either of the variables are because I have 2 unknowns. So when we have 2 unknowns, what do we need? Well, we need 2 equations. Okay, so I have one equation here, and I need a second. So how am I going to get the second? Well, they've given me this other point, 1, 9. Okay, so then if I look at the point 1, 9, that is telling me that x is 1, and the f of x value then will be 9 when x is 1. Okay, so that means that I am going to have 9 is equal to a times 1 being squared plus b times 1 plus 4. Okay, so remember that squared is only acting on the 1. It's not acting on the a. Okay, if in the function there are brackets around this, then yes, it will be an a squared, but that is not the case. Okay, it's just the x being squared. So let's simplify this out. So again, I'm going to -4 from both sides, and I'm going to get that 5 is equal to a plus b. Okay, so now I have 2 equations, and I can go through these with simultaneous equations, any simultaneous equation method that I want to use. Okay, so you can isolate a or b in one of these and sub them back into the other equation, or we can go through it with the method where we label them equations. I don't know why I would call that one a when this one was the first one we found. A and B. Okay, so I can just do some nice simple simultaneous equations from junior cert here, that 2a minus b is equal to 1 and a plus b is equal to 5. So if I add these two equations up, okay, I know that they're not really complicated. There's not 3 equations here, but it's just nice for the examiner to see where you're taking these from. So do still label them. Okay, and I'm going to add both lines together. So again, I'm just showing the examiner what I'm doing, so that I get 3a plus 0b is equal to 6. So I can divide both sides by 3 because the 3 was multiplying, and I get that a is equal to 2. So sub that a equals 2 back into either of your equations, whichever one you think is going to be easier. Okay, so back into one of your original equations, I'm going to use the original equation a plus b equals 5. Okay, we can jump, like we can see straight away as soon as a equals 2, put it back in here in your head to see 2 plus 3 equals 5, so b must be 3. But I am still writing out the information that I know so that the examiner can see what I have done. Okay, so 2 plus b equals 5, and then if you want to jump to saying, okay, well, b equals 3, that's okay. Okay, so I'm showing that I am putting the first value back into one of the original equations. Okay, so a is 2 and b is 3. If there's a little work in between them so that they're not both clearly at the very end, maybe write them all out at the very end, or just get a new colour, okay, and avoid red pen, but just put boxes around them.